no brakes. I just rebuilt the interior, the engine, and no brakes. Didn't even feel safe taking it out of my driveway when I went to go do it. So we don't just fix shit, we upgrade it. Let's check it out now. All right, we got some good speed. It's time to apply some brakes. Not bad for just the big toe. Yeah, she stops on a dime. Oh, and steering is absolutely freaking fantastic with this baby too now. Love it. Mad Scientist here, coming at you. Gonna show you how to upgrade from a HydroBoost. This is a vacuum assisted brake setup to almost triple your clamping force by going to HydroBoost, and how to take your power steering pump, which we're gonna understand why we're gonna do this, and increase both the volume and or pressure output of your power steering pump. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go with a HydroBoost setup. So we're gonna use hydraulic pressure from your power steering pump, and it's gonna take your clamping force from 700 to 1,000 pounds up to 2,400 to 2,700 pounds. There's a lot of reasons that people may suggest not to do this. One is it might be a little bit laggy in response compared to your vacuum system. A lot of times that's because somebody hasn't invested in upgrading the power steering pump because of maybe the cost, because the HydroBoost might be expensive. And we're gonna talk about how that's not expensive. But I'm gonna show you how to do that for free. And then it's complex. Yeah, you got two hoses, but we're gonna eliminate this one. I really don't see it's an issue. I think, yeah, you'll see why in the video. That the hoses can leak. I've never had this problem. Get good hoses, good connections, make sure they're tight. Very simple. It's gonna leak no more than your power steering. And then cost. So a lot of times the HydroBoost setup is about $1,000. Another complaint is that the engine needs to be running. It needs to be running in a vacuum system as well for it to work. Although you can add an electric vacuum pump to a vacuum boosted setup so that if the engine dies, you actually still get your full braking pressure. But tie back to the complexity. You got a lot of things. I've had not great success using those. I have used those in some diesel setups before upgrading to the hydro after realizing the issues with that, either having sensors to feel the vacuum pressure that running or queuing off of brake pressure. So cost, $100 on eBay. Haven't even opened it up yet. You can find a HydroBoost setup off of modern vehicles. I think this one's off of a 2017 or 2016. So yeah, we're gonna dive into that. Let's open this baby up. And there we go. So we got bolt pattern, attachment to the brake pedal, and our two hoses. That's what we've got here. Brake line hoses, and yeah, we're gonna get to town. Like I said, this is a fairly new one. I did not check, so if you want to do a lot of work, you can try to find the bolt patterns. I just mess with these things enough. I just don't even worry about it. I know usually I'm gonna have to change it. No biggie. You might have to change the length and connection point, which I'll usually do with a little cutting and welding. All right, I did forget to mirror the cardboard, so there's one extra hole. So three of the holes were close to matching. Actually, two were matching. and I had one extra that was offset, but unfortunately put an extra hole in, not flipping the cardboard. Always good to, if you got a little bit of variation, oversize the holes a little bit, so you got a little more tolerancing. Now we've got this right here, our connection point. So the length from here to here is only 3/8 of an inch difference between that and the old booster. I checked the brake pedal, and we have enough clearance for the brake pedal to assemble that. So again, newer stuff, metric, older stuff, not. So we've got some variation, but this 5/8 inch bolt here on the hub is perfect fit with no slop in there. I'm going to use this longer one so I can, again, not use the threaded portion, reducing shear points there on the other piece. So we're going to drill that out, and I'm going to use the impact gun and a hole bit. That way I don't have to remove the pedal. So because if I use that 1/2 inch bit here on a drill, my length to get in there, I won't be able to get up under the dash and put this in, but I'm going to drill out that hole so that this bolt matches. And should fit now. Do or die, see if she fits. And there we go. So again, reminder, shoulder of the bolt is encompassing both of these. Pretty important detail. We're gonna get the pressure valve and flow valve out of the back here, and also because we need to update this hose to fit what we've got. All right, so this is the fitting coming right off of that new box. And like I said, they're different fittings. I was planning on keeping this and using the new hose and having this fitting done on the end, but this is a Parker fitting that isn't made anymore that I found out when I went down to the shop. So one, that creates the opportunity to clean this up and take this extra piece of tubing out of the mix. But the reason I was going to do that is I need a 90-degree fitting right here to go one into the power steering box and one to go into the pump. And if I have a straight end right here on one end, I don't have to worry about how this is crimped or clocked onto this hose. But now I have to have two. So that's why this is uncrimped. So I actually had these made up at the hydraulic shop. And I just put this on. We're just gonna have to pre-assemble these, get the right clocking to each other, mark them with paint in case it moves before you go down to the shop, and then do that. And then to replace this fitting into the box, we're gonna use this fitting right here. So we got an extra trip to the shop, but honestly, not bad considering we're literally 2 hours into this project so far, and that is with filming, and I was on a conference call for a business call for about 50 minutes of that too. So we're gonna take these off. Boom. So those are gone. And like I said, replace it with these ones in a 90-degree. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on there so I can clock these hoses. This is where the hose connects off the back of the box, and this is what I pulled out with the magnet. All right, so to increase the flow, we've got this port right through here. You do is drill that out with a 5/32 drill bit. If you want to bump the pressure, it involves removing these washers right there. So I don't really need to, but I'm gonna go ahead and bump one out. All right, purchase some brake line here. This is the metric one that goes into the new master cylinder. And just cut the other end off with my nice $2 piece. Old brake fitting. SAE metric. All right, about ready to button her up and close this up and take it for a spin. I'll show you around a little bit first. So it's all wrapped up. It went way faster than anticipated, so I actually cleaned up a bunch of other stuff in here you may have noticed during the video. So yeah, let's look at that. So I had some problems with some leakage in the existing system, so I just ended up pulling out the proportioning valve because I had this Willwood one hanging around, so plumbed that into the rear and cleaned up the brakes. But while I was at it, went ahead and cleaned up. You may have seen the battery wasn't mounted down, wiring mess, but went ahead and cleaned a little of the hoses and wiring up. So yeah, let's take her. It's snowy and icy out, and well, we decided to fire this baby up for the first time to try to give her the maiden voyage. So me, Briley, and Corley are gonna see if she fucking runs after our rebuild. Actually, no, Corley's not joining. She's scared. It's gonna be Isla. So we did a gorgeous job on this interior, but I don't think that's gonna help us much with the driving. Oh yeah, we got rear seats, did all the upholstery, everything. Anyway, oh, Briley's hiding. All right, let's see how it goes. Maiden voyage, she's running good, baby. Running strong. What do you think, Isla? You like it? Go tell Briley.